Living in Captivity, Part 2. When we get home, I go to Wonder's room and lock myself in and smoke for hours. It's not being in Colombia for an extra 5 days that bothered me. It's not the fact that my unemployment had ended. I was off the Obama plan, and every day away from the city was a day I'm not generating an income that I need to pay for food and shelter. It's not the fact that my wife is dealing with the pressure of her entire family telling her she was a bad wife because she doesn't cook for me, clean for me, or hand me my beers. It's not the fact that my reliance on Wonder for everything from transportation to laundry, because I'm not allowed to do anything alone here, has begun to create friction between us. I don't know the language as well as I need to be here for this long. I need her, and she was dealing with a million other things, like already being back in university. She has papers to finish, her nephews and nieces to watch over, parents to please, and bills to pay. After 5 weeks, I feel I'm more of an obstacle than anything. Yeah, marriage is beautiful, but so is an avalanche. I need New York City. I need my independence back, which I need for my isolation. It's not the fact that although I need to get back to New York City for my survival, New York doesn't seem to need me. I couldn't get a job for years now. No one's looking at my writing. Nothing further than needing a job to survive is happening to me. It's not the fact that I haven't made a dime in my life in any endeavor, and it didn't look like it was going to happen anytime soon. It's not the fact that at my age I had no choice but to sit and wait in another country. I haven't accomplished enough in life where being stranded in Colombia wouldn't be an issue. I haven't accomplished enough to afford anything above Spirit Airlines. It's not the fact that I feel I can't afford to control my life, more like a captive to it. It's not the fact that at times artistic ability leads to financial success, and by now, this hasn't happened to me. And if not by now, would it ever? It's not the fact that I know the cost of living is always something the artist wrestles with. But why is it, during my time, artists are having so much of an issue with it? At least Allen Ginsberg saw the best minds of his generation destroyed by madness. I'm watching the best minds of my generation being taken out by credit card debt, marriage, divorce, unfulfilled expectations, unrequited success, waiting, identity issues, laziness, bad timing, and the crumbling infrastructure of everything physical and conceptual that no one lets us fix. It's not the fact that I find it impossible to turn my back on my failures or from reality. Everything is writing to me, even when I communicate with myself, and I can only write in ink, not bullshit. All this visits you in the quiet 2-hour ride on the way back home from the failed trip to the airport, and you realize that my Jorge Alicia Gaitan moment probably happened way before I missed my first flight. It's not the fact that I don't know anybody that's doing much better than me. It's not any of these things. It's all of them. My trip had spilled into its 3rd month. By the time I left, August would be over, all the kites would hit the ground, the season of the comets would be done, and I've outstayed my welcome. We tried to get a standby seat the next morning. After being told there was one available, it was abruptly taken away. I concede and wait to my scheduled flight. On Friday, at the bag check, after 3 years together in the States and a little over a month in Bogota, as Wonder understood the moment was actually happening, the hard, armored head of her house in Colombia that I knew for the last 5 weeks slouched into tears. She writes her house number on a piece of paper that I would keep in my wallet for the next 6 months. I say my goodbyes to everyone in the family and thank them for everything. I make it through bag check, but at customs I'm told that I can't leave the country because the permission I had gotten to be in Colombia on my passport has expired. I turn and Wonder and the family had gone. I'm told to go into the customs room in the back. There I see a woman furiously wringing her hands in tears after being busted for smuggling. I pound on the sheets of acid I have hidden in my pants, but quickly focus on something else. I didn't want to give the idea an energy that could attract anything. I'm informed that I need to pay a tariff of $367. I don't have that kind of money. I was held over because of weather, not by choice. They command me to go back down to Spirit counter and get a permission slip explaining this because it was technically their fault at this point. Then once again, go through bag check and customs. It's happening again. I'm going to miss my flight. I run down to Spirit and I'm made to wait 15 minutes before I'm helped. I'm finally given my permission slip. I recheck my bags and go through customs. I make my flight by 10 minutes. As a final insult, Spirit has removed me from the window seat when I change flights. I have an aisle, and the jackass at the window isn't into cloud gazing. He attempts to talk to me, so I put my earphones on and I think about the response I'm going to give when people ask me about my trip and the people I was with. I'll tell him that the boo-hizzle picks up the tab for the rum bottle at the table in the club. He'll make sure you have enough cerveza to know you're in Colombia and in his home. Wonder's dad buys you a bottle of Buchanan's after you land. J Loco wants you to have a bottle of aguardiente before you go, even if it means missing your flight. He'll make every bike ride worth the risk. The university students don't talk to you much once they know you're a gringo and part of the evil empire. Still, they pass a joint to be polite. Guerrero brings you a Poker Cerveza mug to bring back to the States to remember everybody by. And she's going to make sure you have it, even if it means she has to walk home alone at a dangerous hour. Wonder's mom backs up the grandchildren talk once she sees you're not willing to play. I'll tell them what the Bogotanos told me. Whoever isn't planning on robbing you is going to show you the best time of your life. When you're in captivity, you spend half the time wondering if you will ever leave, the other half fantasizing about the life you lead when you eventually do. The true facts of existence is that when you do escape, you lie somewhere in between. Now I try never to buy any bananas from Chiquita, Dole, or any of the big fruit or food companies, period. I'm currently employed. Wonder has returned to New York City, and as for the success of my arts, well, you're watching this, aren't you? Somehow I survived Bogota. Now on that Friday morning, floating off the tarmac of El Aeropuerto Internacional, I had finally escaped. I escaped Colombia and my marriage. Landing home as a man who had nowhere to go and who wasn't expected anywhere by anyone, I decided to escape every other moment that came before. Forget all the failure. Don't even try to pinpoint that Jorge Alicia Gaitan moment. Let's just start this over. Grab a slice of pizza from Sal and Carmine's and made it home by midnight. I read an email from Wonder telling me that she missed me already and listened to a voicemail my good friends had left moments before. They were all together and partying. The message was a drunken group howl that was meant to welcome me home. I ate my slice. Alone.